This interview is for information only and should not be considered as investment advice or a recommendation to buy shares in the company featured. Welcome to this Stock Box interview.
Joining us today is Rolf Gerritsen, the Executive Director of Metal NRG, for a bit of an update on operations and goings on within the business. Thank you for joining us today, Rolf. How are you?
Very well, Mark. Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you for joining us. I just want to first touch on the news that came out this week. That's, of course, relating to the EQ Tech situation, where EQ Tech they're now going to draw down on the agreed loan facility of £2.9 million. So just explain exactly what this means, please.
What it means is that at the end of last year, we had an agreement with Banco del Fucino in Italy, which is a private bank, to refinance the plant in Italy for 2.9 million euros. And the bank set a condition precedent that we had to meet, or the plant had to meet, and that was a certain level of production had to be achieved for 48 hours. And that condition precedent was met before Christmas. The bank then completed a further site visit to the plant in January, on the 10th of January. And as a result of that, the condition precedent have been met and approved by the board, so that we can now draw down 2.9 million euros to the Italian company operating the plant. The use of funds will be working capital and further development capital for the plant, plus there will be some sort of a distribution to shareholders who have invested in the plant over the last 12, 18 months. The exact amount to be returned will be decided at a board meeting, I assume within the next week or two.
Okay, so we've talked about EQ Tech and the waste to energy for a while. So this is really, it's proof that it's working. It's got that consistent 48 hours, and the bank have released funds that they're able to basically build on it and go into get into consistent production. So I mean, that's obviously a good milestone. What does it mean for Metal NRG? You're one of the shareholders who might benefit from some of that initial payback.
Absolutely. We're a shareholder. We also have a board position on the board of the Italian operating company. And first of all, it's pleasing to see that the technology works and has delivered. And the team in Italy and the team in London for EQ Tech have done an outstanding job in bringing this plant to where we are now with it. And we're going to be producing revenue, or we'll have income out of it, and it's all good news, I would say.
Okay, it still remains to be seen. You can't, I guess, talk about figures at the moment of expected sort of income that might come from this venture.
Not exactly, because we're looking at some further improvements that we want to make to the plant, and on the back of that, we'll be able to determine what is left over for distribution. We want to make sure that the plant has sufficient cash to maintain constant operation, and they've done a great job in recruiting the team. There's a full team out there of locals that are operating the plant, that are being trained and operating the plant. So it's all good news at an operating level, and we're working through the various models in the further investment required to determine what can be distributed to the shareholders. But something will be coming our way.
Okay, well, I guess we can expect to see a fair bit of news now that facility is available to be drawn down as things develop over there. In terms of Metal NRG's strategy with just that project, would you be looking to divest, or would you be looking to hold for the longer term, or again, is this an ongoing sort of thought process?
Well, having completed the business review when Chris and his team joined in early September, we've stated to the market that we want to focus, and we will be focused on the mining sector. So longer term, or within relatively short period of time, we'll probably look at divesting, but we don't want to create any problems for EQ Tech. So we're working with them to see what the best way of doing that is. And it needs to make sense for them, and it needs to make sense for all of us. For when I say all of us, I mean all of the shareholders that are involved in that project.
Okay.
But longer term, we'll probably look at divesting from it, because the real focus for us is on mining, and that's where we've been spending a lot of time.
Well, of course, let's talk about that, because we met Chris a couple of times the latter half of last year, where we were talking about opportunities in this space. It's gone a little bit quiet. So what's going on? I hope there's been plenty of background work going on between you both.
It's gone very quiet, and the external side of things has gone very quiet. Internally, we're working very hard. We've got a number of targets that we're working on, and we're making excellent progress. And I wouldn't be surprised for some announcement within the relatively short period of time. But we're working hard. We've got a number of targets that we're interested in. Just to remind you, Mark, our focus is on producing assets with further potential upside, and/or assets that are extremely close to production with also additional upside. So we're looking at a number of opportunities that are being progressed, and we are, I believe, in a very good position.
Okay. Can you give any more information on what might be coming out and when? I mean, in terms of commodities that you're looking at, or jurisdictions of these certain projects?
We've said and made it quite clear that we're looking at gold and we're looking at copper, that we're extremely interested in. From a geography perspective, we're definitely looking at Africa. We're also looking at Central Asia, and we're also looking in the States. We've made when I say States, it could be Canada as well, but we're not limiting ourselves in terms of area or geographical area. We're also looking at something in the Philippines, which looks extremely interesting, and we're doing work on that at the moment. So there's a number of very exciting opportunities for Metal NRG, and we're making very good progress. And I think part of that is also the appointment of PKF as auditors, because with these assets, we needed, or with the assets that we're looking at and the geography that we're looking at, we needed a team that could cover those areas for us. And that's part of the reason that we've asked PKF to join the team. And they've got a very strong mining team internally, and they'll be very supportive in what we're doing.
Okay. Well, you mentioned news on it soon. Q1, Q2, can you give any hints?
I hope soon, but we have to go through the process,
Sure.
Mark. And, we will announce as soon as we have something material.
Okay.
At the moment, there's nothing material to announce. There's very constructive ongoing conversations that we're progressing.
Okay.
And in terms of timing, you don't want to rush these things because you need to do them right.
Sure. Okay, well, thank you for that, Rolf. Is it worth getting a bit of an update on Goldridge, what the status of that project is?
Goldridge, we've announced, as you know, at the end of the year, the completion of the geosampling. We're in a conversation, which is a very interesting conversation, with a company that is looking at maybe working with us on developing very specific drill targets. So progress there, and I expect some sort of announcement coming out of us on Goldridge over the very near term as well. So you look at, we start looking at end of Q1, beginning of Q2. I think there'll be quite a lot of news flow coming out of Metal NRG.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Rolf Gerritsen, for giving us an update today, the Executive Director there of Metal NRG.
Thank you, Mark.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter, and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programs at stockboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.